Hi, everybody. Before we get to another great interview, the Too Opinionated podcast could really use your help. And it's easy, it's free. IMDb, which is the entertainment database, imdb.com, named us a top 100 podcast. We came in at number 82. That's a big deal because there's 15 million podcasts and growing. So to be named to anybody's top 100 list, pretty big deal for us. And the way you can help is to go to imdb.com, look up the Too Opinionated podcast, and that's it. Just bringing our page up. That traffic really helps us out. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. All we ask is that you subscribe. It's also free, but that really helps us to attract these amazing guests that we keep bringing on the program. And that's it. 2 easy ways for you to support us, and we would really appreciate the help. Now let's get to that interview. Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Too Opinionated. I'm so excited today. I've got the team behind an old friend. So I've got producer Kris Flink. I've got director Nuk Suwanchote and Jason Faunt, actor. So welcome to all three of you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
How'd I do? Did I screw up anybody's name too bad?
Nope.
Right.
You did not.
That's the toughest test.
You got once you got the Nuke one, it was all easy.
Yeah.
Trails from there.
I'll admit I had to look that one up. But my wife said Nuke. Because I asked her, I was like, how would you pronounce it? She said Nuke. And I was like, okay. She was right.
He always says nuke like the bomb.
Like the bomb. Yeah.
I think that's a very entertainment name.
It is.
Yeah,
I can see that up on a billboard. Well, and so we got a lot to talk about. Kris, I wanted to mention you worked as a production assistant on a movie called Potato Dream of America.
I did.
Yeah, I had Wes on the show. It's been 4 or 5 years ago, but
Wow.
Yes.
yeah,
Wes,
I really enjoyed that film. So yeah, noticed that you had worked on that.
great. Yeah, it's a great film. Yeah, I helped with the art department, sets and all that. It was very fun. It was really quite the experience. It was a really cool. They took an old Staples building and turned it into a studio, and they created all the sets inside of it, and it was just really
that's amazing.
the prop and sets department was amazing. So it was quite a surrealistic thing to be on, what they were able to create in that little
yeah. Well, and it was such a good story.
It really is. It's his personal story. Wes is a really great filmmaker, so it's really fun to work.
Yeah, I thought he did a terrific job with it, and he did a really good job explaining, the story. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Jason, I'm nerdy, so Red Ranger or Red Time Ranger, whichever one you prefer. I'm all in.
I love it. Thank you. Well, after 30 years, I feel like Power Rangers is touched everybody at some point for sure.
Well, and it's one of those franchises that it just keeps going.
Yeah. And they're refilming the new season right now in London. So they just started filming the new season, and I think they're taking a more adult angle at it, which the fans they're pretty selective on what they accept. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm excited that they are. Yeah, I'm excited that they are.
Oh, I think a little more adult version will go over very well.
Yeah. Yep.
There's a lot of us that have been fans since the beginning, so
yeah,
it'll do all right.
Yep, I think so. It's a good move.
Yeah. Nuke, did I see that you've done some drone work on some of the films? Does that? I know that's kind of the cinematography side of it, but I'm assuming that type of thing would lend itself to directing a film. That would help you.
Yes. I that's actually my primary job. I get hired to do. I do a lot of cinematography for TV commercials, documentaries. I just was talking about this earlier. I think I filmed 3 features now as DP. So I'm a little bit more experienced at that. I just don't. That's not my end goal, right?
Right. Well, yeah, but the more things you can put in your tool belt,
the better.
Has to help out. Kris and Nuk, no desire to step in front of the camera.
I do acting for
Okay.
the sketch comedy TV show we're pitching. But I both direct and act, so it's that balance that it's fairly tough. But Kris helps me out a lot. She's an incredible actress.
Stop it. It's funny. We laugh because it's like in the film industry here, I'm very well known as a producer in a lot of things, but it's my super secret power that I actually have a big acting background and actually jumped into this film. Our joke is that I was free. My fee was free. So I got the gig, but it's not really that necessarily. But it's just something I don't talk about a lot. I love to just sneak in and do pop in and do a fun, crazy, impactful role and then leave and organize the rest of the film, right? It's fun to do both.
I love that. Well, you've got a little role in this one.
I do. I play Tom Skerritt's daughter, Cindy. So that was pretty awesome.
Well, so the film is an old friend, and you mentioned Tom Skerritt. I'm a big fan of his. I think I first became a fan of his with Picket Fences. When he was on that, but he's had so many great. He's done everything,
right? Yeah. It's like I was explaining to younger people don't necessarily know who he is because he's in his 90s now, right? So younger filmmakers don't necessarily know who he is, but it's like A River Runs Through It. I'm originally from Montana. They shot A River Runs Through It in Montana. It's like Top Gun, Alien. You start naming all these major blockbusters.
Well, now that you mentioned it, Top Gun was before Picket Fences, so I would have.
Right. So it's like people go, he was, and then I'm like, you know who he is? Just look him up, and they're like, oh, that guy, right? Like we know who he is, and we're just amazed by his amazing body of work and career. But it's been interesting working with younger people in the industry that are just like Tom Skerritt, okay, and then they get it. So
because everybody recognizes the face.
Yeah. Right.
Yes.
Very recognizable. They may not even know the name, but they know Tom.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, if you've seen Ted, his cameo in Ted is just the best.
It is. You're right.
That is just the funniest bit right there about his bragging about being in the know with Hollywood with Tom Skerritt and building a garage with him.
I've forgotten all about that. That is
oh my gosh.
I did too, Jason. I don't even remember. Now I do. Now that you bring it up.
Yeah.
So this one that we're talking about is called An Old Friend. Tell me about that. What's the film about?
You gonna take that one, Nuk?
That's you, Nuk.
Well, it is a short film that is about an imaginary friend who finds out his purpose is to bring happiness to his child, only to figure out that his child is a 90-year-old man on his deathbed.
That right there cracks me up. That's hilarious. But so is the premise that he was accidentally assigned an older person instead of a young person?
No. He was purposely designed for this person, and it's a very integral part of the story. However, he starts fresh as an imaginary friend, so he doesn't know who this is necessarily, but at the end, there's a big reveal of his significance and their relationship.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Jason, you're playing the imaginary friend?
Yes, Calvin, the role of Calvin.
So if we say too much more about the twist, it sort of gives away the integral part of the story, but suffice us to say, it's definitely a very important, impactful, emotional part of the story for sure.
Where did the idea come from?
So this was written by, it was actually written by Dan Martin, who was the Hollyshorts screenplay competition winner in Seattle during the pandemic.
Amazing.
And so the film didn't get made during the pandemic, as a lot of things didn't get made during the pandemic. Right. So then later, after things were over, Jason had originally, I believe, Jason, did they not approach you for the role once it originally? Or I'm not exactly sure how that originally happened.
Yeah, it felt like years ago.
It was the pandemic. Doesn't the pandemic seem like 20 years ago? But
it seems like 20 years ago and also like yesterday.
Right, exactly. We're
There's
all
the
still
bar.
getting through the trauma of it
That's
on some certain level. But anyway, it was something where, there was a partnership with Hollyshorts and Alta Global Media and some people, and they had wanted to produce it. It didn't get produced. So Nuk and I sort of we're working on a project, and we sort of were talking with another one of our co-producers, Jeff and Ben, who had run the Seattle Film Summit. And we were like, we want to make this film. We really, really loved the script. We thought it was fantastic. And we were like, we want to make this short film. And if we get to do this, because it was a screenplay competition winner, we were able to premiere it at Hollyshorts in August of 2024. And so we were like, let's do this. And we said, but we don't want to do this if Jason isn't involved. We had Ben reach out to Jason, and Jason was like, yes, I'd still love to do the film. And then I had a relationship with Tom and his wife, Julie, working with them on a film competition that I do in Seattle called the Seattle 48-Hour Film Project.
Yeah.
So Tom and Julie have a streaming channel called Evergreen Channel, and they were trying to work with us on content from our local filmmakers to put on their streaming channel. So it's like I had known Tom, and Ben had known Tom really well, and Nuke had worked with Tom on some project. And so we all just were like, we all know Tom. What's the possibility he would say yes, right? And it's like, Tom is very supportive and lives in Seattle and is very supportive of the Seattle film scene and mentoring young filmmakers. And he was like, Ben asked him, we all just sort of reached out, and he was like, for you, Ben, anything. And that started it. We were like, Jason, Tom is in, are you in? And it just all sort of came together from there. And we literally had 2 months to make this.
Oh, that's fast.
I know. It was accelerated, right? Because we were like, we all had schedules and time frames, and we wanted to get it done quickly so that we could, actually premiere it at Hollyshorts in LA. So that fast tracked our track. And we had no money, so we had to do all that fun stuff, and we made it as a SAG micro budget. So it just was this very quick thing with this amazing team that we pulled together, and we brought Jason up to Seattle. We filmed everything in Seattle in a studio called Harbor Island Studios. It is a very super secret unknown thing here. It's 117,000 square foot, completely soundproofed sound studio that used to be an old flour mill back in the 1900s, and they converted it during the pandemic to soundstage. We built the sets inside of it. All the indoor stuff, with the exception of one scene, was all filmed inside the studio. And we just got it done with this amazing team that we have.
That's amazing. And usually it doesn't come together that fast.
No, it's very difficult. But we had a very smart, lots of filmmakers that just are really good at what they do. And we just pulled together a fantastic.
How long was the actual shooting?
4 days. We did 4 days.
I figured it was pretty quick.
Yeah. Yes. We had 2 days with Tom. We had 1 day outdoors, and 1 day at another location, and 2 days in the studio with Tom.
That's so fast. That's so fast.
Very fast.
So Jason, you've been doing this for a while, but I'm still guessing working with Tom is still kind of a treat.
Yeah. I mean, I think for me, I've always been a sponge. Anytime I can work with people that have had a lot of history or experience, it's always kind of fun to watch and pick their brain. Even if you're not actually speaking to them about stuff, I've always been a big fan, even when I started, of just watching the process of people that have more experience than me. I've been very good at being a sponge. So to me, that was the fun part, just kind of watching the interaction. And credit to Nuke for, Tom's got a lot of experience, and Nuke stepped in. Obviously he's a young director, and he did a great job.
Yeah, what was that like, Nuke? I'm guessing Tom, he's a professional. He was probably fine, but not every actor is like that. They expect things a certain way, especially when it's a younger filmmaker. How was the relationship on set?
I am very happy and proud I got the chance to work with Tom and Jason, honestly, because growing up, I watched Power Rangers, so I knew exactly who he was, and he's like our favorite Power Ranger. And I'm a total nerd watching the dinosaurs, so I was like, "Oh my God, this is the best season." And so when I first met Jason, I was already like, "Oh wow," starstruck. But then I already worked with Tom once before, so when I first met him, thanks to Kris at the golf club. it was like, you know, like in the movies, like, oh, hey, kid, I'm gonna meet you at this very fancy exclusive club.
Right.
And then there I was like, yo, this is
Did
crazy,
did
you
he
know?
take you golfing, or were you just at the club?
No, we were just eating lunch. Yeah. And I was like, yo, man, this is crazy. And he's like, you know, kid, the thing is like Ridley Scott, this is how he thinks of things. All right. And I was like, man, that's nuts. And so the first time I worked with Tom, it was on the documentary, and he was just kind of himself doing his own thing. And I knew he was fairly artistic, like just gets all over creative. Just he's like, hey, let's go with the flow. And for this project, I had the experience. I had already been like, whoa, it's Tom Skerrit. Um, but he was even more creative than usual. And he was like, hey, listen, kid, you're gonna get where you're gonna get, and we're gonna work around it, all right? So I felt like I got the real Hollywood celebrity treatment from the get-go, and I'm really happy and proud of that because like I feel like
That's
I would
awesome.
know moving forward, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's got to help going forward.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
Is the plan to try to make this into like a full-length feature?
I mean, I don't know. That's a conversation that we honestly, Michael, we never really expected it to go this far. We've had such unexpected success in festivals. We've won,
Well, it's a
you
great
know,
idea.
so many awards, and internationally, Jason's won Best Actor. We've won Best International Documentary, you know, stateside and, you know, internationally in some major competitions. And it just kind of became this thing where we were like, this is doing really unexpectedly well.
Yeah.
And doing so well in festivals. We had a festival run this whole year. And so now we're just like, I think our goal, well, I mean, our next level was, hey, we should see if we can't, let's try to get this Oscar qualified, which is what we did. You know, so we went through the process with all the stuff of getting it qualified. And so
Yeah.
currently right now, voting started it's streaming live on the ASR, which is the Academy Screening Room, for all of the Academy members to vote on it. So the voting started on the 8th and the voting is done on the 12th. And I mean, you know, there's always a possibility we
You
could
never
make a
know. I
short
mean,
list,
it's
right?
such a
I
great
mean,
idea. It's unique. You know,
yeah.
you never
So
know.
you never know. So we will find out one way or the other on December 16th if we make the short list, which is the top 15 films, and then it's a whole another world and round of things. But you know, that's kind of where we're at. We kind of went from festival formula journey to you know, getting it qualified. We did a 7-day run in LA. It did really well. So
Yeah.
we are, and we'll just see what happens from there. I don't know that we'll, you know, we have so many other projects on the docket upcoming, including, as Nuk said, a television series, sketch comedy series we're working on,
Yeah.
that we don't know, and a feature. So we don't know if I guess it just, we'll see what happens, right? We're just sort of going to see where it goes from there. But at this point, you know, we'll probably, depending on where it ends up, we'll talk about making it available for people to, you know,
Yeah. I'm sure everybody's
stream
going to want
once
to watch.
once it's over. Yeah, of course, of course. So
Yeah.
that's probably going to be our next step, depending on where things go from here.
Yeah. 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 No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Jason, I should have mentioned, I saw you at a convention. It's been several years ago. But I never got close to you. So I was, my son and I, we were, I say this, when back in the 90s, I owned a couple of comic book stores. That's how I put myself through college. So I've always had that kind of love, and I'm pretty frequent participant at conventions. So I'm pretty used to that.
All right.
We came to this one. I can't remember where we were at. And there was a line out the door, and we couldn't even see who the line was for. And I'm looking around, and there was like, I think Ric Flair was there. You know, they had
a lot of wrestlers,
some wrestlers, some actors, different things. No lines, but there's this one line, just a big line. I'm like, what in the world? So we're just kind of working our way up there to see who it was. And it was just a group of you Power Rangers up there that, I mean, people were just going nuts about that stuff. So I would love to have said hello, but the line was a little too long for me.
You know, it's funny, like, you know, these conventions have been absolutely, in the beginning, a shock to me that the fanfare was that passionate and that large. And I'll do shows with now, I mean, A-list celebrities. I just was with Helen Hunt. I've been with, I remember I was in Saudi Arabia with Kiri Yules. I never pronounced his name right. Kiri Yules from Princess,
That's
Princess
how I
Bride and
would
all that.
say it. Yeah.
And he's just like, damn, I should have been a Power Ranger. So I kind of laugh when we're with these very successful actors who have much more success than me and make a lot more money than me in that world. And they're looking at this Ranger fandom going like, damn, I wish I was a part of that,
Everybody wants to be a superhero.
Yeah. So I've been very lucky to be a part of it. And yeah, wherever we go, there's a huge fandom. I mean, I just got back from Singapore, like not even 48 hours ago. And you go across the world and there's this fan base, and it's pretty cool. I'm very blessed.
Yeah. Yeah. Conventions are so great because the majority of the people you run into, they're just fans, and they're very well-behaved fans.
Yeah. Always.
They totally get it. They don't mind waiting, for their turn as long as they get their minute. Everybody's aware. Everybody gets a minute, so they kind of. And I always love that kind of atmosphere, because it's just you stand in line. You're waiting for your turn to talk to whatever celebrity, and you're making friends in line while you're waiting.
That's right. That's right.
Terrific. What was it like playing an imaginary character? Did you did you have to come up with like a backstory for yourself? Because I kind of get it. It's like this character is created for this purpose. So what exactly is this character going to be like? What kind of personality traits does he have if he's just brand new? Did any of that go into your thought process when you're doing this character?
You know what? It didn't. I bring myself to every role because I always think that's the most unique person is me. Yeah. But the character, when he awakens, he doesn't know where he is or what's going on. He's almost like a robot that he thinks just created. So there's a lack of awareness for who I am. I don't know my name. I don't know why I'm here. So really, it's a pretty blank slate, to be honest with you. So from that standpoint, no, not as much. I think the component that I liked about it is this imaginary friend is created. He doesn't know why he's here, what his purpose is, but he quickly looks around and sees he's with these half cat astronauts and firemen. Everyone looks different. It's like the island of Dr. Moreau. Everyone's different, these characters. And he learns that, hey, you're created to be an imaginary friend for your child. You're assigned a child. So I go embrace it, okay, this is cool. All these cool people. Let's do it. Where's my kid? And they're like, well, through those doors, and you're whisked through this portal. So it's kind of a magical world. And I'm into this hospital room where this man is on his deathbed with his daughter crying and her husband. And I'm going, what the F is this? Like, I thought I had a kid. I thought we were going to play. I thought I was going to be an astronaut, a fireman. And this is not good. So there's a certain childlike innocence to just figure out why I'm here, how I make the best of it, and ultimately what my relationship is with this guy and how do I bring it out of him. And I think that's where the journey begins. And so keeping that childlike innocence to keep it light is probably the biggest thing I was needing to do in that role.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Because you just playing it like you're just innocent.
Yeah.
The blank slate almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. Kris, what was it like playing the daughter?
Well, it's interesting. We've had this conversation numerous times because Jason had lost his father and I had also lost my father. And so we sort of bonded over that as in the actor space. It was really interesting because this is sort of about memory loss and aging and how each, at end of life sort of dignity and things like that as well. And so it was kind of one of those things where it was really challenging in a way because, I'm playing Tom Skerritt's daughter. So I'm at his deathbed and it was like, I thought it was going to be very, very difficult, but it was almost sort of an homage to my own father. And it was just sort of seamless to be able to draw from dealing with that, dealing with his memory loss, dealing with all those things, just sort of allowed me to sort of just seamlessly be this person because I was really sort of just being myself on a certain level, kind of like, so if that makes sense. So it just was, it was wonderful to play. It was very emotional. It was very difficult. It's very difficult to take after take to be remaining in that emotional space. But all I had to do was think about my dad, and I was able to remain in that emotional space, even when things were a little crazy around me and there was some other things happening, which we don't need to go into because that's just part of production, right? Things happen, and all of that. We had converted an office into a hospital room. So yeah, in the studio, we'd made an office into, actually, I'm in the office. I'm at Harbor Island Studio.
That
I am in the office that we converted into a hospital room.
You've converted it back now, I guess.
It's been converted back. That was a while ago. But yeah, it was wonderful. Yeah, it was, and I like to think it's also on a level certainly cathartic. It was sort of a way to. I wasn't there when my father actually passed away. I didn't get there in time. So kind of like, I guess I never really told you both that, Nuk and Jason, but I didn't make it in time. So it was kind of like my ability to say goodbye to my dad, if that makes sense.
It completely does. I love that.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not going to cry. I'm not crying right now. Don't make me cry.
Well, you can. We won't judge.
I know. I do it a lot. I do it a lot when it comes to that, but yeah.
No, I think it's all of us have someone that in our lives that we've had to deal with that is aging. Maybe they're experiencing some memory problems, and it's such a challenge, not just for the person going through it, but for the family that's kind of going through it with them. Nuk, did you think about that at all when you were kind of working out the film? Because I would want to see that side of it, more from Tom's side, where he's struggling with some stuff. Maybe he's kind of aware that they're, he's not 100%. Maybe he's not. But did any of that play into it?
Well, the reason why I felt like this was a good fit for me as a filmmaker as well is I have a very strong relationship with my parents. I love them very much. We're very close, and I appreciate the time I have with them, the relationship, and something I like to, I guess, preach is like how important your parents are and how incredible, how much they've done for you. And so I'm like trying to like give my homage to my parents while they're still here kind of thing. And so just losing memory is kind of like losing the person in general. And
you're losing pieces of yourself basically.
Yes, and you lose people all throughout your life in weird different ways. Oh, sorry, somebody's knocking. Yeah.
See, that's the beauty of podcasting. Anything can happen.
He's muted because he's telling someone.
I was like, we could just be real quiet. Maybe they'll go away. Is the movie more of a drama or a comedy?
I mean, it's definitely a drama, but there's comedy elements put into that for sure. I mean, it's definitely designed to be more of a fantasy drama, definitely with all of the imaginary friends and all of that, and there's special effects and there's practical effects and there's things, right? But it's such a heavy subject on a certain level, even though there's the fantasy elements of imaginary friends and all that lightheartedness of the characters playing around and stuff. But it's such a heavy subject that it was important to sort of mesh that fantasy, lighthearted comedy, elements into it. So it wasn't just all this one big depressing.
I mean, that's kind of life, right?
Yeah, totally.
Even during the most difficult times, we normally find some humor.
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, it definitely, when we categorize it and we submit it to festivals, it was a fantasy drama. That's how it was. That's how it's been submitted. And those are the categories that it's played in. It's also played in sci-fi as well, right? So we've done well at animation festivals, and there's all these different, it's really great because it has all these different kinds of elements, right? So
I I kind of
Definitely
like that.
drama. Yeah, I mean, that's what I think makes it interesting, and that's why it sort of appeals to such a wide audience in general. You know, you have your people who like the cute little comedy elements, you have your people who like the sci-fi sort of animated kind of idea, you have people who like the drama and the emotional, heartfelt part of it. So it sort of appeals to a wider spectrum that way, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. Jason, I would have liked to have seen you like before you go in the room. You're thinking it's a kid, so you just show up in the Power Ranger uniform, you're ready to go, and you walk in and it's like Tom. You're like,
That would have been fun, Jason, right? If we just had the license royalty.
That's right. You know, just a little,
That's
little
right.
Easter egg in there.
Hey, I got the suit right there, so we could
You
just grab
do
it, you
in your
know.
background there.
It'd been easy.
That would have been great. That would have been great.
Yeah, that'd have been pretty good. That'd been pretty good. Well, is there, you know, for those seeing the movie for the first time, is there something that you would like that person to come away from the film? Anything you'd like them to learn while they're there, or is it just, you know, here it is and each to their own devices?
You know, I let me answer that one, guys. I would say when you see this film to completion, the lesson learned is very clear and very in your face, and you will take away a ton from this. The ending, when I will just say, because obviously the movie's out there, the ending, you know, surprised me when I read the script, right? I was very taken aback by what happened. I did not see it coming. So all that to say, the message is very clear. The message is very strong and very powerful. Can't miss it.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that, Jason. That's really great. And, you know, I think that, you know, in going the festival circuit and attending and doing Q&As and all of that throughout this, there's been a one resonating thing that everyone's come up with, and everyone wants to tell you their story. There is a moment in the film that you can collectively listen throughout the entire thing, and it is like clockwork. You hear people crying. There is a moment where it hits every single person. And at the end of the film, and I myself, we all, like Jason and I, Nuk left every single time. Like, even though we made it and we know it's coming and we know all these things, it's like there's that moment, right? And so what's really resonated with audiences throughout this festival run has been the same thing. You know, they come up and they say, "Oh my gosh, I love the film. It's so heartfelt. You know, I have a parent that's dying. I had a parent who had brain trauma. I had a parent who has Alzheimer's." You know, it's like they instantly were able to resonate with their story.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's like it's been sort of amazing to see, and important, I think, to all of us as filmmakers, how it's touched everyone, and the fragility and the beauty of memory and aging with dignity and treating your elders with respect. I have an aunt who's in the final stages of dementia personally as well right now. So it's like the loyalty, the lasting power of things like friendship. I mean, there's so many, how creativity and memory are intertwined. You know, it's like even enjoying life finally as a, you know, even in aging, you can still enjoy life with the exuberance of a child, right? So there's all of these pieces and spaces that you can, you know, that you can think about. And it's like Jason said, it all just really hits you, and it's very apparent what this is all about. So
I know, I'm very excited to see it.
yeah.
I got to know the twist.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. Now you do.
Yeah. I my father, his cousin recently passed, and we, you know, I drove him to go visit him. My dad's 85, and it you know, his cousin was in the final stages of dementia and just absolutely could not recall anything, you know, but it was important to my dad to see him you know, before he passed. So he went down there, and they start talking. And it doesn't take long before his cousin recognizes him, and they start talking about all the things that they did growing up together. And it was all right there. Like it had just happened yesterday. It probably happened, you know, 70 years ago. Remembered all of that. But then right after that moment, couldn't even remember who we were. It's just, it's such a difficult disease. And most of us have dealt at least a little bit with that. And going into those rooms, it can be cathartic It can be upsetting, it can be kind of revealing. It's just, you never know exactly what you're going to get. And I love the fact that you've taken this angle to kind of show some of that.
Right.
That's because I think it is relatable. We've all been through it.
Yeah.
Maybe not personally, but we've watched somebody go through it. Yeah. So what's the next steps? Are we still in the festival phase, or is it now you're looking for somewhere to kind of land it?
We do have a few more festivals in January that we haven't been accepted to, so we'll probably see that through. But at this point, I think we're just waiting to see what happens with the qualification and the voting. And on December 16th, we'll find out one way or the other, and then we'll make our next steps after that. There's still a couple of festivals we want to make sure that we're in.
Right.
So I think we'll do that. And then after that, we'll figure out a way to make sure that it's released to the public one way or the other. We just haven't made that decision yet.
Yeah.
Just is depending on where it goes after this.
Well, Jason, if it gets made into the full movie, are you on board? Are you in for that?
Yeah, the way it's done as a short is just so perfect. I can't imagine how this would be a feature length, but obviously,
yeah,
I would always be
up to the writer.
Anytime working with these two, I would be in. I wouldn't even have to read the script anymore. They just say, "Let's go," and I'd say, "I'm in."
Oh, that's nice, Jason. You're kind.
Nuk is like, watch what you say.
Right.
Be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, what you wish for. We already have
this. I gotta wear this.
We already have plans. We want Jason in a feature we're doing, and plus also our Nuk. Do you want to?
Yeah, tell me about the sketch comedy.
Hi guys.
Yeah, let's hear about it.
So, Thai Guys is an Asian American sketch comedy show that flips cultural stereotypes on their silly heads. And so, comedy is going through a rough time right now.
Yes.
However, if you make it a statement of society, you get a little bit more wiggle room, right? Like, oh, people think people are like this. Let's flip it on its head. It's not us just making fun of someone. We're actually making fun of fact. It's just how we deliver it is what makes it entertaining and digestible. And that's why we like it, because I think there's a lot of crazy stuff going on right now, a lot of interesting aspects of society, and people are very sensitive. But if you deliver it in a unique way, like we want to, through my perspective being Asian American, it's different and it's refreshing.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, I grew up. There was a lot of sketch comedies and a variety show type of entertainment that was on TV, but we've gotten away from that. We've got a few, but not nearly what we used to. So I personally, I'm on board. You put that out, I'll watch, because I love that type of entertainment where you're getting unique perspectives in each sketch.
Right. These guys are crazy, so Thai Guys, it's on, just check out their Instagram. It's Thai Guys TV Comedy.
Yeah.
And you'll see we do a lot of content on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. So
all the things.
It's all out there, all the things. Jason's even in a sketch. The guys went to him when he was in LA at a con. Which one was that, Jason? I don't remember.
I forget the name of that one. Nostalgicon in Anaheim, California.
Yep.
Yeah, the guys went there and they did a sketch at the con with Jason. So it's a fun one you can find. I won't give away the fun ending, but yeah. So I mean, we're in the middle of. We just completed writing out all of the 11 episodes in every sketch. So we're getting ready to. Nuk's been pitching it. It's been successful. So we're just getting to the point where we're looking at, pulling things together financially so we can make it. Plus we have a feature coming up and some other projects that we want to get money financially and get those finished. So, make your own content.
Is the hard part writing it or everything that comes after?
Well, I don't know. Nuk could probably tell you the hard part is writing it, because as a producer, I'm all like, oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. If you don't write it down, I can't help you any further. Right. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it's getting it. You have so many ideas, but it's getting it on paper is rough sometimes. and laying it all out, especially if you're trying to do an episodic and you're laying out every single sketch in every format, right? But getting the money is also a challenge, So we found ways as independent filmmakers to figure out ways to do them as inexpensively as possible, right? We're really good at that. You have to in this day and age. People don't want to give you $5 or $6 million to do a film anymore. They want to give you 150,000 or 250,000. And it's like, oh shit, yeah, we can make that for that. Can we?
Sure.
Can we make this for that? It's really hard when you have, unions and all different things involved. So I don't know. I mean, Jason, you wanna hit that question too? What do you think?
Well, I mean, again, I was listening to your answer. What was the original question again?
Do you want to ask it again, Michael?
Yeah, ask it again, because I was listening to you guys about the.
I don't want to
budget.
assume. Yeah, go ahead. I was like, what's harder, writing it or
Oh, the
getting
writing.
Oh,
and
yeah,
producing
yeah.
it. I tell you
I
what.
was trying to remember what the
have,
question was too.
or
Yeah.
getting it done?
You know what? I don't know. I've never been a writer. I've never had a desire to write, and I've actually never produced anything. I mean, I'm producing a cartoon now, but I'm more just helping to invest and kind of a little more hands off. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, if I had a gun to my head, I would think the producing might be hard because your work as a writer, it's just you, right, for the most part. But when you start producing, you're dealing with a lot of outside elements and factions and challenges and environment and sets, actors. So it seems like the production side has a lot of juggling balls.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Sure.
you've done
Well,
it all.
and I know on most smaller productions, Kris, the producer is kind of the heavy on set too. Was that your role?
You do. I did everything. I was a producer. I was the line producer, which is also the budget, which is also the paperwork, which is also when you want to make something inexpensively, you volunteer a lot of your own free hours, right? Hoping that it will pay off. Like what has happened here, our visibility has been raised quite substantially for us as small independent filmmakers in the community. And that was part of our goal. So you have to do everything. Nuk was cinematographer, director, did everything. And, we had a team everybody was doing 5 roles. You just had to, because there's a budget to consider. So, when you try to figure out ways to make things inexpensively, it is definitely a hard job producing something and doing it all. But you do it because you get it done, right? Because you love it, right? People think we do this for just because, and it's like, we do it because we love it. But, the ultimate end goal is let's not kid anybody. Wouldn't we actually like to make money doing what we love?
I mean, ideally, a little bit would be nice.
I mean, do we really need money? Nah.
Well, so the film is an old friend, and it's making the rounds. So we'll see where it lands. But thank you guys so much.
Posted, Michael.
Yes. Yeah.
We'll keep you posted. So
please do. We'll
definitely let you know.
Yeah. We want to know.
Yeah. And we'll send you a link.
That's right. Yes. Send me a link.
So you're going to send Mike a link in the movie?
Maybe. Not yet. Can't do it yet.
I'm ready.
When we get to that point, we can.
But before we wrap up, let me take a minute and kind of go around and see if you have anything else that you're working on that we can kind of keep an eye out for. So Jason, let's start with you. Are you currently working on anything that we can kind of keep an eye out for? Yeah,
there's 3 things that are coming up. The cartoon called Brush Brigade is a cartoon that I'm producing. It's an animated cartoon for kids about the Tooth Fairy's daughter.
Oh,
so we've got some of the writers from Power. It's about we've been doing this thing for 2 years now. So the pilot episode should be done the next several weeks. And we're excited to get that thing out there. It's got a few Power Rangers in there lending their voices. And one of the writers, Johnny Hartman. So you see a lot of elements in terms of this Brush Brigade. It's this group of group of fairies that fight against Emperor Decay and Plaque and all the cavity stuff.
I love it.
So Brush Brigade is going to be coming out soon. Legend of the White Dragon is the film that I did with the late Jason David Frank. That has been a 3-year post-production challenge for those guys. But that's finally completed and it's in the distribution right now. So that should air hopefully in the next handful of months.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
And then lastly, I'll be putting on the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman suit in Batman that we start filming next month.
No way.
Yeah,
Seriously?
for Bat in the Sun, who's they get about 25, 30 million views on their channel. So Batman versus Shredder is what we'll be doing. I'll be playing the role of Batman.
Amazing.
And so that's the next project as of today that then I'll be doing. And then
Yeah,
later
you'll have to
today,
keep me posted on that one too. My son is a huge turtle fan. You know,
okay.
he's when he's not podcasting, he's a children's librarian. So yeah, turtles and Batman still very popular with
Yeah,
him.
well, one of the two is going to die in this. It's pretty heavy. It goes to the death. So they film two different endings. The fans vote, and then
I didn't
love
know that.
yeah, it's kind of that whole concept is of these two. The way that they do it is the production value of this is better than the real Star Wars. The way that these guys do it, but these guys come together and they fight to the death, and it's pretty graphic.
Well,
So we'll
pretty
find
awesome.
out who wins.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to film alternative endings, so I will win and I will die, but we'll see what the final version is.
It's kind of like those Clue movies that came out years
Yeah.
ago.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, the different endings. I love that. I love that. So, Kris, Nuk, anything outside of the sketch comedy that we can keep an eye out for?
I'm in post-production on another short that I produced and co-directed, which is a very unique, interesting concept coming out. I can't really say much about it because immediately when I start talking about it, it gives it away. But and that should come out in the spring. I'm also working on a documentary called The Brave and Unbroken Project. It's 7,433 days of silence. I'm working with someone who changed legislation, who is a survivor of sexual abuse by her father, who was a high-ranking official in the military. And he got caught and went to prison, and they couldn't get any restitution from him because he was protected. And she went to bat and got the legislation changed so that anybody who is a high-ranking official in the military could get their pension, challenge.
What a good project. Yeah.
So it's a really great, it's her story. And, we've been working on it for a while. I did a TEDx talk with her. And so now we're in production. We've got a grant and we're going to finish up we'll do it as a short first of the festival circuit. And then so there's that. And then Nuk is we work together on numerous things, including Tie Guys, and Nuk has some other a documentary and stuff he's working on as well. So go ahead, Nuk. I won't speak for you.
Yeah, we are working on a feature horror, writing that down. I'm working with a buddy down in Portland. We just got to write that out, but I just really want to continue to pound it out on Tie Guys. Check it out on Instagram, YouTube, Tie Guys TV Comedy. We do all sorts of random stuff to bring the laughs, and we have a hell of a good time doing it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you guys so much. This has been terrific. And
Great job,
keep me
Mike.
in mind
Thank you.
whenever whatever comes up next, come back.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us, Michael. Appreciate it.
This has been a blast. I've enjoyed it. It's always fun when I get a group that's worked on a project together. I love doing those because you get so many different angles.
Well, and interesting that we all still like each other after this, right?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
That is a good point. That doesn't happen a lot. That's true.
And we still want to work together in the future. So I guess that's a lot, right?
Well, just from a fan side, I'll say that when there's discord on set, we may not know that, but we can feel it when we watch the show. I can't explain it, but sometimes you just know that something's not right. You just get that feeling. Chemistry, very important, I think, aspect of whatever you're making.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yeah. Love it.
Well, thank you guys so much. And, so my son edits for me, thank goodness, but we're pretty well caught up at the moment. So at some point, probably middle of next week, we should have this.
Let us know so we can support it and post it up.
I will. I'll send you all the links to it.
All right.
Absolutely. All right, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Well, that was just a blast. I absolutely had a great time. The movie is an old friend. If you're a fan of Tom Skerritt like I am, you will absolutely want to see that one. I've tried to have Tom on the show, but he's a busy guy. So I'm not giving up. I'm still going to pursue him, but absolutely love Tom in whatever he does. Picket Fences is my personal favorite. If you're a fan of that show as well, we've had Lauren Holly, who is currently starring on Family Law, but she was terrific. So if you're a fan of that show, definitely check out the interview we did with Lauren. Pretty great. An old friend. Keep an eye out for this one. If you get a chance, make sure that you support Jason and Kris and Nuk. Big fan of Jason's. I think he's a terrific actor, and you don't always get to see that when you're performing in kind of a superhero type of show. So Power Ranger, it's so much action, but Jason is a talented actor, and I'm excited to see how he does in this particular role. I have no doubt he's terrific, just terrific. Kris, talented actress, absolutely a fabulous producer, and I love the fact that her and Nuk are teaming up to do other stuff. I think Nuk is extremely talented as well. I love the fact that he does the drones, but that just helps. That's kind of like, that's his day job, but his dream job he's still working on a little bit. He's working on that director side of it and filmmaking side of it, and I have no doubt we're going to be hearing a lot more from Nuk in the future. Thank you guys for tuning in with us. If you're finding us for the first time, we're so happy that you're here. We'd love to have your support. It's easy to do, and it's free. Our YouTube channel is MeisterCon Pod. Please subscribe. Really helps us out. Doesn't cost you anything. Our website's meistercon.com. You can find almost 1,100 episodes, audio and video versions, both. If we're doing anything in studio, if we're going on location, maybe we're covering a convention that Jason's working, it'll be on the website, meistercon.com. So please check us out there. Thank you guys so much. Until next time. Bye, everybody.